Good morning. Good morning. It is Wednesday, single subject training day, but we're going over a few things. And welcome to the call. It is 7/9/2025. And I'm Frank. I'll be your host. Also, we have Richard and Jim that will be co-host, and Alma is the boss. And so anyhow, anyhow, right now we're going to
What?
be talking. Uh, right now, we're going to be talking about our flyer that we have. Our flyer is actually a 6-page um, promotional for the exclusive 125% buy, fix, and flip or buy, fix, and hold program. And what Richard's got it up on the screen right now. And the 6 pages, what we do is we'll bring that to like a Staples or an Office Depot or something like that. And Richard, would you make small circles right around where the V 5.1 is, please? Down, yeah, make small circles right there. In that area right there is designed for you to put in your information, your contact information, so that if you trifold this, fold it like it's going to be in a number 10 business envelope. If you do that, that right there, that area will be visible with your information. So when people um, ask you, if you go to meetings, if you go to RIA group meetings as a guest, if you go to real estate uh, office meetings as a guest, and people ask you, well, what do? You could hand them this flyer. Richard, could you scroll down to the second page, please? So the first page, if you go to Office Depot or any of those places, you would print on one sheet of paper, on the front of one sheet of paper, the first page, and then on the same piece of paper on the back, you would print this second page, and that tells everything that they need to know about us and about the things that we do. You do not have to be the expert yet. All you need to do is make the invitations right now. And then as people get interested, what we'll be doing is we'll be helping you. When people ask questions, you may answer the question because the information's right here. Or you may say, that's a great question. I'm kind of new at this. I may not know the answer right now, but I know somebody who does have the answer. Mr. Alio has been doing this for over 40 years. So I'll see if I can get Mr. Alio on the phone and see if he can answer some questions for you. By saying Mr. Alio as opposed to Frank, I come across as um, a credible witness. If you say, I'll see if I can get him on the phone, well, you can almost always get me. But by saying, I'll see if I can get him on the phone, it's like, wow, maybe she's going right to the top for me, or he's going right to the top for me. It lends a lot of credibility. And then all I ask is make the introduction and then zip it. Zip it. Don't say anything else. Just be quiet for a minute. Let me and the client talk for a little bit. And you don't have to add anything. You don't have to subtract anything. Just zip it. And I have 40 years of experience. I know what to say, and I know how to mold a conversation so that it gets around to um, what are you working on now? Do you have any product? Do you have any project that you're working on now? And when I ask that question and they start telling me about the client that they're looking for to buy, fix, and flip a property, that's your entry into your first client that you're going to sign up. So I do that very skillfully. I've been doing it for 40 years on how to do it. And you can just watch and you'll learn how to do it as well. But any questions? This is the back page. And Richard, go back up to the top. This is the front page. You're going to get a 6-page document. You want to print just the first page on the front, and then you want to flip it over and print the second page on the back, and voila, you have your flyer. And you want to put in there your contact information, what Richard is just outlining right now. You put in your information and how they get back in touch with you. And these clients are going to be your clients. Okay. Any questions about how you create the flyer, on how you get invited to um, a meeting? Brenda, I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to call on you. What did you do to get invited to the first RIA group meeting? Unmute yourself, please.
Okay. Yes. Well, I searched for real meetings, like you said, online, and I kept getting something, but it wasn't the real group that you was talking about. So I kept searching, and when I searched, it came up with for all Texas real all Texas. That's the real group that they did. So I said, for this is all Texas, then let me go ahead and check it out. And so as I checked it out, the guy gave a video of what they do, everything they did. Um, and I'm like, okay, they pretty much do the same thing we do. So once I did that, um, I just went ahead. They sent me an invitation to join on my email, and that's why I went ahead and joined. But the first meeting is coming up Saturday, Sunday, because he said he having three meetings, and you just go to one of them. So I will be trying to go probably Friday, because it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay, so I wouldn't recommend that you join all of the groups, maybe one
Okay,
or
okay,
two, but actually, you really want to um,
good guess.
get yourself invited as a guest, because
Okay,
if you come as a guest and people start to understand what it is that you do, they will invite you back to speak, because they're going to say, well, 125% funding, nobody on
hmm
the planet does that. And so
yeah,
that gives you the opportunity to say, well, we do. And then of course you're going to be the number one star. They're going to want you to be there.
okay.
All right. So any other questions about how you print it out or how you get your foot in the door? Any questions at all? Herman, how we doing?
Good. We're
Okay.
doing good. I'm on the treadmill. Yeah. Can I get a copy of that flyer?
Yes, sir. We sent it to you just a few minutes ago.
Oh, okay. Great.
Should be in everybody's
Okay. Everyone on the call is going to get that
inbox right
flyer.
now.
And anyone who's listening to this recording can just reach out to Richard. Richard, can you tell people how they can reach out to you?
Okay. My telephone number and email address, of course, are on the bottom of every email I send you. That's my cell phone. Actually, it's not. Come to think of it, that's the main number. But anyway, I'll include that cell phone as well, so you can call me direct. Either
Richard,
number will get you to
Richard,
me on my cell phone.
Richard, please, could you tell us your email? Just say it for the people who are listening to this on YouTube, on every other social media, and everywhere that I market this to.
Richard, and then the letter F. No punctuation or spaces, just Richard F. at ezFinancialGroupLLC.com. And all of that's all one word, ezFinancialGroupLLC.com.
And the phone number that they could reach you at, Richard?
Our number is area code 479-397-4487.
Fantastic. All right. So you can, if you want to post that at the sometime during this, you can just put it up on the screen. And while they're looking at this on YouTube and 3 o'clock in the morning, they can give you a call. All right. You
Great.
may not get Richard at 3 o'clock in the morning, but he'll get back to you.
But now, Frank, you could get him because he's up all night.
Oh, don't, if it's after 9 o'clock, I don't want to hear it. Anyway, I've been doing this for 40 years, and yes, I used to answer the phone at any time of the day and night, but I decided I ain't gonna do that anymore. All right. Next thing we wanted to talk about today was exactly the buy, fix, and flip program. So, and we always talk about buy, fix, and flip, but what if you want to buy, fix, and hold? The deal of the century is coming along about every week now. So, what if you wanted to buy, fix, and hold? There you go. This is how you can contact Richard, who is the CEO of the company, and he's the man.
Brains.
Richard Frost, Richard F at ezFinancial Group LLC.com. And we fund small businesses and startups. Wow, we do real estate. Wow, we do everything. We even do franchises, don't we? Oh, could you put the link in that, Richard, for the Big Five? Is that possible to drop the link in there for the Big Five?
Oh, of course.
We always plan these meetings out so we know what we're going to do in advance. Not.
That would be
Sure.
nice.
Sure, we
Not.
do.
All right. As soon as he gets done with that, we want to pop into the buy, fix, and hold. So while he's doing that, I'm going to tell you about the buy, fix, and hold a little bit. The buy, fix, and flip is temporary funding. It's for some 12 to 24 months. It gives you the opportunity to find that deal of the century. We give you the money to, well, if I had that flyer up, I would. What? There you go. That's the Big Five. Link to our Big Five program. Love it. Everyone should go to that Big Five link right there. And it has to be, if you don't copy and paste, you have to use exactly, it is case sensitive. It has to be done exactly the way you see it. If you capitalize the EZ, it won't work. If you lowercase the B and the F and the P, it won't work. It has to be exactly, it is case sensitive. Bitly is case sensitive. So if you use that, if you can copy and paste it, great. If you can't, you have to just
Welcome to
you
ezFinancial.
have to type it exactly the way you see it.
Welcome to ezFinancial's Big.
I hear someone speaking, but I can't quite hear what you're saying.
That was the video starting. We didn't need to see it though.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. All right. So if you could pull up the flyer first, just for a second, just pull up the flyer, not this one, the actual flyer. You can save that because that's what we're going to do next. Just pop up the flyer real quick. First page of 125. All right. So the way the 125% program works is we provide the working capital before you even find the property for sale, before you've even actually got the property. I ask people to hold out their left hand. Really, hold out your left hand. We put anywhere from $50,000 to $150,000 in your left hand to get started for you to go looking for a piece of property. Then hold out your right hand. Once you find the deal of the century, and as I said, it comes along about every week now, you hold out your right hand and we put 100 up to 90% of the money in your right hand. So make it easy. on a $100,000 property, we'll put $90,000 in your right hand to acquire the property. And then we talked about rehabbing the property. We again in your right hand, we're going to put 100% of the rehab capital in your right hand so that you can buy that property and rehab it. And then we can take the marketing capital and you can market the property without going through a real estate agent. You can put and giving up 6 to 7%. You can market the property in Better Homes and Gardens, in exclusive magazines, and you can take the marketing money that you have there so that you get the maximum amount of money. So let's go back to the green one. Frank, you said 125%, and you only said that you were going to get 90% of the money. Where are you going to get that extra 10%? Look in your left hand. We got $75,000 is my average in your left hand. So you've got the money to pay 125% buy, fix, and flip. We give you working capital before you find the house, acquisition capital when you find the house, rehab capital when you're rehabbing the house, and then marketing money. Where are you getting the marketing money? Look in your left hand. You got money left in your left hand to market the property. So you've got 125% buy, fix, and flip. But today's training is about buy, fix, and hold. Now, can you pop over to that other screen? All right. So what's the difference between buy, fix, and flip and buy, fix, and hold? There's one small minor difference. Remember, in the beginning, I said that the buy, fix, and flip money is temporary money. Some people call it bridge financing. Some people call it temporary financing or short-term financing. The short-term being anywhere from 12 to 24 months. It seldom goes longer than 24 months. But almost any project is going to be finished in less than 24 months. And then at that time, you would either sell it if it was a buy, fix, and flip, or if it was a buy, fix, and hold, because you got it at a super deal. It's beautiful because you did a great job because you didn't have to skimp on the fix because you had the money to fix it. And you're not going to flip it this time. You're going to actually hold it. What happens is okay, that's a great example. Those are some examples of what some people have done. And Richard's got the befores and the afters. I like that middle one. Yeah, I like that one right there. There's a ratty old house that probably nobody wanted to buy it, but you were a visionary and you bought it and you turned it into the one just below it. And now it's gorgeous, a beautiful house. Now anybody would be proud to own that or to live in that property. So we're going to talk about you're going to turn it into a rental property. Again, this is not owner occupied. This is a rental property. So the benefits of owning income property or owning real estate, the expenses are tax deductible. Mortgage interest expenses are depreciation. You can depreciate them, and it's a tremendous hedge on inflation for you. Next slide.
I'd quickly ask you, have any of you had experience in owning income property or rentals? Have any of you tried that?
I think Ron has.
Yes, I have.
Yes. No.
Oh, and Herman has.
Yes.
All right.
Well, I'll
this
tell
is
a long time ago when I moved out to California, I eventually bought my first house. And of course, right off the bat, I thought it was probably too small. It was a simple little 3-bedroom, 2-bath home on a cul-de-sac in a quiet little neighborhood. after about 5 years, I realized I needed a bigger home. I needed maybe a pool in the backyard. I needed this. I needed that. You know how people need things. So anyway, I took the advice rather reluctantly from my accountant doing the taxes, saying, "Hey, you ought to keep it and just rent it out. It'd be great for your deductions. You'd really save a lot of money." So I tried it just to see, and it became a great investment for me. I had it for about 5 years before I sold it, but in the meantime, it was amazing. My mortgage interest, the expenses of the that occurred in keeping the house up. I even had depreciation on it. So it was a great deal. So that first time that I did my taxes, suddenly there was about a $5,000 reduction in my taxable income. I mean, that was a big deal for me back then. And it's something that everybody just, for most people, it doesn't really click until you actually see it happen to your tax return. And your accountant points it out and says, "Hey, you just saved yourself taxes on at least 5 or 6 or 7 or 10, even $10,000 worth of rental income." And this is what it meant to you. So, it's a basic function, but it's one that really pays some big dividends for you. Next item, Frank, would be the monthly passive income, cash income. Passive income is a way that the tax authorities treat your income. And generally speaking, passive income is taxed at a lower rate than the money you're earning on salaries and so forth, your regular income. It's a tax break for people to encourage people to go out and invest in things, particularly real estate. So passive income immediately indicates that, hey, this won't be taxed at the same high rates that your income's going to be taxed at. It'll be taxed at lower rates. You're going to save taxes, pay less in taxes. So that's not a small thing either.
So you're actually, if you bought up that deal of the century, and you fixed it up, you lived in it for a little while, and then you sold it, didn't sell it, you rented it. Now you have an income above uh, the NOI. Net income, net operating income is above your expenses. You're making a profit on it, and you're getting a tax deduction. That's kind of like a 1-2 punch, isn't it? All right, go ahead. Next one.
Next one, increasing equity as the debt's paid down. This is a minor thing, but it turns out to be probably one of the biggest things. As the debt's paid down, initially when they amortize a home loan for you, your first payments for the first few years are mostly interest. You got a big balance, and most of your monthly amortized payment is going to be for interest. But eventually, as you pay it down, your equity grows. And one of the things that was a revelation to a lot of people when Donald Trump was running for office the first time, and news reporters and so forth started talking about, how he made money. You realize that every major real estate developer in the country, like the Donald Trumps, like all the rest of them, when they build a big casino or a hotel or whatever, they're mostly using other people's money and the bank's money. But eventually, as the debt is paid down, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, whatever the length of that mortgage is, he ends up having all the equity in the project. So in 20 or 30 years, every hotel and every casino, every big major development that he or any other developer built actually gets paid off, and they actually hold 100% of the value. That's a tremendous increase in net worth for those guys.
And
It can
Richard,
happen on small levels too. Sorry,
can I ask you, Richard, who's making those payments, by the way, Richard? Who's actually making the payment, Richard?
The payments are actually being made by the limited partnership that he set up to do the project, and that's
The
being funded
tenant,
by
the tenant, the
uh,
tenant is making those payments. So you don't have
payments
to
of
think about it
cash.
as
The
if
only people
costing you
bringing
money.
cash to it are the tenants. They're
There you
paying,
go.
all the expenses are paid, and then the debt service. So it's not coming out of, any developer's pocket. It's coming from the tenants. That's the only people bringing money to the table month in and month out. Everybody would understand this one real quick. I mean, market values eventually go up. There may be bumps in the curve from time to time as markets adjust, but the long-term trend for all real estate is the appreciation in market value continues to climb. You maintain the property, you don't let it become a dump, but that value continues to increase. So when you bought $100,000 or $150,000 home initially, now it may very well be worth 175, 200,000. It goes up over time. In terms of selling the property, because you have it in a business entity, when you get ready to sell it, that gain, the profit that you make on the deal is first of all going to be subject to lower capital gains. You may be paying 20, 25, 30, 40% on your income from your job, from your normal income. But the profit that you make on the sale of a piece of property, of a real estate property that you've held for a few years, is going to be taxed at a lower rate. Don't get too excited about this, but the potential 1031 exchange, there's even a tactic in the tax code that allows you to, if you have held onto a piece of property for a number of years and you want to sell it, you're going to make a bunch of money off of it. The tax code allows you simply to roll that profit into an investment into a new property. And they'll let you do that tax free. So you've made your money on one piece of property, and all you're going to do is roll the money into the next piece of property. The dice is rolled, and you don't have to pay any taxes. You can do that tax free. If you don't get the idea yet, the tax code and the bloated bondholders in the United States Congress really want you to buy and own and build real estate. It's good for the economy. It's good for everybody who touches it in any way. And it's something that since the beginning of the tax code, they've always wanted to favor people who buy and develop real estate. Stabilized rent history, obviously, the longer you hold it, the history of your rents, the rent rolls, as it's called, showing that, hey, for 5 years I've had this property and I've got consistent rents the entire time. It made money. Maybe a vacancy rate that's in the 5 or 10 or maybe 0% range. But I've got history. I can prove that this is an income producing property. That's going to be very attractive for anybody that you want to sell that property to eventually. Take it away, Frank.
Okay. Rather than flipping a recently renovated property, you can turn it into an asset that will generate passive income for years. So the property that they're looking at right now on the screen, rather than selling that and making a quick buck, you make the long buck when you hold the property. The difference between buy, fix, and flip and buy, fix, and hold is really, really simple. Once you get to a place where it's move-in ready and somebody can just move in tomorrow, what you do is we switch it over from the temporary financing, like I started explaining in the beginning. We switch it over to permanent financing, which could be 5, 7, 12, or 30 years. And then it becomes an asset to you. As Richard was describing, the rents become a positive cash flow. The depreciation is yours. This is how all of the real estate developers become millionaires, and they do it in the beginning, one piece at a time, one little baby step at a time, and then eventually they buy apartment complexes and big, big commercial buildings and hotels, like certain people we know have purchased big properties. That's how they become multimillionaires.
I guess we're going to have to change our terminology and get used to calling people multi-billionaires, but you get the idea.
Yeah,
We're going to
well, yeah.
show you three primary avenues you can take. In the first case, we've been talking about this, just income producing properties targeted as additions to your long-term rental portfolio. In other words, your long-term wealth. Just hold it and keep making money and keep doing all sorts of great things with it. That's the first area. Second area of interest is going to be properties that can be bundled in a specific portfolio of income properties for sale at a later date. We're looking, we're always looking for opportunities to develop real estate ourselves. And we come across a lot of people who have a portfolio of properties of income producing homes that they've developed in a particular city someplace. And it may be 30 or 40, even 50 or more properties that they have bundled one at a time into a portfolio. They've got maybe one company or one person doing the maintenance and follow up to make sure that they're taken care of, managed. But they've got sometimes just 5 or 10, sometimes as many as 50 or more homes around the city that they own. And they're individual family, single family homes. There may be some duplexes, triplexes, or even fourplexes. But they've got all those properties and they're making money, and they can bundle it into a portfolio and sell it as a portfolio. We'll be talking about that a little more. And finally, the third category, we're going to show you how you can take starter homes targeted for first-time buyers with credit issues and make money doing that. Income producing properties that you can do very well with. So those three categories are what we got to be talking about. The first,
Richard, would you go back to that slide just for a minute? We're getting close to the end of the hour, and I really wanted to hit that home. Just go back one slide, please.
to this one.
Oh, yeah, that one right there. So I've been doing this for years and years, and Richard and I come to a conclusion that middle one, the properties that to be bundled into a specific portfolio, it never occurred to me, even though I've had clients do it. It was like hiding right under my nose. The clients have done it. They've come to me and said they want to sell their portfolio of 5 or 10 pieces of property. If you religiously go to the real estate investing group, the RIA meetings, you'll find people who are looking for 5 or 10 properties. You'll find people that have a substantial amount of money that they need to invest in something. Wouldn't it be wonderful if you were the one that was controlling a bundle of 5 or 10 individually properties that were making a positive cash flow? And then let's put the frosting on the cake and the cherry on top of it. If you were to be able to sell it and then offer financing for it as well, oh my God, would you be the star of the party then? Because as ezFinancial, we're going to know what the property is doing for you. We're going to know that it's a good property, and we're going to be able to market a bundle of properties like that. And then so let that sink in. That's something I never even thought about, but it's a fantastic idea that Richard shared with me this week. Then the last one on the bottom of that list, and that's about all we really have time for, is the starter homes. We have a program that we're going to be putting together and offering for you guys to sell. And it's going to be a way that you can get you or the real estate investor can get paid 3 times on one property, selling it to people who are less than qualified on a lease option program. We're not going to go into it right now, but believe me, if you find the deal of the century that comes along every week now, you can turn those into a super profitable, well, can you say cash cow? These things can be cash cows for you. All right, I want to go to the next slide, and then we probably need to wrap it up after that.
This is kind of a summary of what we've been talking about. This is the transitioning to permanent financing. All we're talking about here is that the better rates and terms you get, many investors will refinance permanent mortgage after a while. There's a couple of things you can do once your home or your project is ready for move-in, that the remodel is complete and it's over with. You get your first permanent mortgage. Maybe it's not at the greatest terms. Maybe the interest rates come down later. I mean, whatever the reason might be, many of these investors who, 5 years down the road have a perfectly good operating income producing property, and they've had it now for 5 years. The rents have stabilized. Interest rates in the marketplace have maybe fluctuated. Maybe they're a little better than they were, that sort of thing. It's real easy to just refinance at some point and take it down to even a lower rate and to better terms going forward. So, there are transactions after transactions after transactions. It's never static. The real estate market has solutions for you at every stage. This is an example of building a portfolio. I wish I'd get rid of these dang Zoom bars, but anyway, in this case, the whole can sometimes be worth more than the sum of its parts. If you start doing a number of homes as an investor, and you've got several already in your in your group that's in your portfolio, you just continue to add it. But then when you're ready to move it, you market it as a portfolio of homes in a convenient area that somebody else can step into your shoes, take it over, and they say, "Hey, I can have an income of free and clear of $40,000 a month if I buy this portfolio." That's not a bad thing. That's a good investment for them, and there's a premium to be had when you've got a collection of these homes. It's easier to manage a collection. It's geographically in the same area. Those kind of factors come into play. Our starter homes, we won't get very deep into this, but I'll just mention, I think nobody in the country is not aware that there's an extreme shortage in affordable housing. When you get into this program, we share it with you, you'll see that there's just there's a terrific model that you can follow to really begin to address that and make money doing it. So with that, we'll wrap it up.
And so what I want to say to anyone who's listening at this point that's not actually on the live call is it would almost sound like we're talking about making our affiliates into real estate investors. Well, that is absolutely a possibility. But if you were to join ezFinancial as an affiliate, you can be making other people into real estate investors, and you can be making a tremendous income and a tremendous living simply by doing little things, taking little steps, like going to real estate meetings and telling people that that ezFinancial is the home of the 125% buy, fix, and flip, and the 125% buy, fix, and hold. And when people say, I won't use good English here, there ain't no one on the planet doing that, you can say, well, I'd like to introduce you to ezFinancial Group, and let's see if it's true. When they see that it is true, that we are doing it, then you are going to be the star of the party. We're talking about affiliates. We're opening our doors to other affiliates. That's why I'm marketing on Facebook, on YouTube, and all other social medias. We're reaching out to people. We're growing our group. We are building up a lot of speed, and we'll soon hit something we call momentum. And that's what we're looking for right now. So God bless you all. Thank you. It's 1 minute over. If there's any last final questions, I'll give you a minute or so to answer them. Any questions?
Yeah, I do have a question, and I think it probably could be taken offline for now. Who can I call to just ask a few general questions?
Any one of us.
Okay. All right. I do have the email from you, Richard. So should I just email you?
Yes, that'll be fine. Not a problem. Email or call, either way.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, okay. I see these numbers. Okay. Thank you. Let me screenshot this.
All right. God bless everyone. Thank you for your attendance, and you all have a great and safe day. Bye now.
Thank you. Same to you.
Bye-bye.
Same to
Thank you.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.